Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to another video in our public policy, political economy series that we have started. Yeah, and our main focus is India. Okay, so we went through the budgets for Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, and today's topic is different. It's a scenario. It's just a scenario, which is based on Indian economy. Okay, so the scenario is if this is a hypothetical situation, but what happens if this hypothetical situation happens or this scenario happens? Okay, so let's. What is the hypothetical situation that we are discussing today, which is related to Indian economy? Is if India reduces the imports of gold and oil and other items, okay, which are creating a trade deficit due to some new technology that is there or a cultural change. Will this make Indian INR strong, and will it improve, the INR's value in the global financial markets as well as across the world? So this is a scenario that we're going to discuss today. So basic scenario is reducing gold and oil imports and how that affects the Indian economy and the INR. Okay, uh, across the world. So yeah, and we are taking help of AI because AI can help us. I wanted to see how AI performs when we give such question, and it has given an excellent answer. This is ChatGPT that we are using. Okay, so let's see the uh, scenario analysis. So how gold and oil imports affect INR? So oil, India imports 85% of its crude oil needs. Okay, so we are importing 85% of our crude oil from foreign countries, especially from the Middle East. Okay, so every time India buys oil, this settlement of oil happens only in USD. It doesn't happen in INR. So we have to pay in USD, not INR. And 85% we are importing, so we have to pay in USD. Okay, so more oil imports, what does it do? That increases the USD demand and it weakens the INR. So okay, so that's the scenario. That's what will happen, or it's happening right now. Okay, that's what's happening. Uh, okay, and gold. Gold is one. India is the largest consumers of gold, especially jewelry as well as gold investment. India is the largest consumers of gold in the world, and gold is imported in USD because of the demand that we have and not enough supply is there. It is imported from foreign countries, and that is also settled in USD only. Okay, and it's imported in USD only, worsening the current account deficit. Okay, the CAD. Yeah, other than oil and gold, electronics and machinery also are important import categories draining the forex reserves. So these are the important big drivers of India's current account deficit and INR weakness. So the hypothetical situation, this is a current situation. Okay, so this is our current economy. That's what's happening. The scenario that we are discussing is if some technology change comes, and or if some cultural change happens, or if some self-sufficiency happens, cultural change happens in terms of gold demand reduction, and technology change comes to reduce oil self-sufficient oil dependency, and self-sufficiency in the technology like electronics and other sectors. How does that impact the currency as well as our economy? So first scenario is if India reduces imports, what happens? So there are three scenarios here. So scenario A, oil self-sufficiency or alternative energy. Okay, so if India reduces its crude oil imports, how will you do that? You do the via electronic vehicle adoption and renewable energy sources. So you could use instead of oil, domestic oil and gas production also you could rely on to improve your dependency on oil. So the import bill will fall sharply, and it's currently at 180 to 200 billion annually. So this CAD, the current account deficit, narrows and it turns into surplus. Okay, so less USD outflow will strengthen the INR. For example, if we see, suppose oil imports fell by 50%, 90 billion will be saved annually, and this could strengthen the INR from 83 per USD to 75 to 78 rupees per USD in the medium term. Okay, so that's the if some technology changes uh, reduce the oil dependency, that's what will happen. Okay, Scenario B is reduced gold demand. Some cultural shift has happened for suppose, and people have shifted from gold investing, physical gold, to financial assets like ETFs, stocks, or digital gold, or real estate, and that reduces the imports. For suppose that happens, it's very unlikely to happen. But if it happens, what happens? Okay, so that's what we are discussing. So that if it happens, then India will save 40 to 50 billion annually. Forex demand will ease and INR will strengthen. Example is if gold imports fall by half, INR may strengthen 2 to 3% over time. Not as big as oil, but it will be still meaningful. Okay. Scenario three is we are importing electronics, semiconductors, and machinery also. But if we produce these electronics, semiconductors, and machinery locally by technology and domestic substitution, then import substitution boosts the Make in India concept, and it reduces import dependency and strengthens INR. India's electronics bill, import bill is 60 to 70 billion right now. So a domestic semiconductor ecosystem could cut this significantly. Okay. So how would INR value change globally when these three things happen? So if India cuts major imports, trade balance will improve, current account deficit will narrow and become a surplus. Forex reserves will increase, RBI gets stronger in defending INR, global trust in INR will increase, it becomes more attractive for trade settlement. Exchange rate will strengthen, INR could appreciate 10 to 20% over a decade if structural import dependency reduces. But there are caveats again. It's not only import reduction that will improve the economy. You need also exports. Okay, so exports also matter. So reducing imports will help, but India must also increase high value exports like technology, pharma, services, manufacturing, if it wants to truly strengthen the INR. Global factors. If even India wants to fixes this imports, INR is still compared to USD. Okay, but if USD is strengthening globally because all the because of interest rate hikes done by Fed, people are taking money from foreign markets and moving it back to the US market, which is a safe haven now. Okay, if money is flowing from emerging markets into US market, which is safe haven, and due to Fed hikes, that also will impact INR. Okay, so even though we have cut down the imports, but if USD strengthens, our INR will weaken. Capital flows, foreign investors are exiting the Indian markets now, and they're exiting hugely. This also weakens the INR, regardless of the trade balance. Okay, policy risks again, fully convertibility, inflation control, political stability matter also, not just cutting the imports. So that also needs to be there so that the INR could be strengthened. So INR, if it wants to strengthen, exports we need to improve. USD should not strengthen that much, and capital flows outflows should not be there, and policy political stability should be there. Some examples with the countries that followed on Japan in 1970s and 80s, it reduced its oil dependency and built strong export industries. Japan is famous for automobiles. It dominates the automobile industry, and pretty much most of the tech driven industries it dominates. So yeah, so it followed the similar thing. It reduced its oil dependency and but built a strong export industries also. Then yen appreciated massively. Okay, and China also in the 2000 controlled the imports and built exports. This strengthened the RMB and trade surplus exploded. Okay, if India wants to do something similar, it needs to follow a similar path: less oil, gold, and electronics imports, and more exports it needs to do. Then INR could shift towards the 70 to 75 over the next decade. So final, just to wrap it up, if India reduces oil, gold, and other heavy imports through technology like EV, renewable semiconductors, and cultural change happens where less gold demand is there, then INR will strengthen. It will reduce the trade deficit, improve forex reserves, and enhance the INR's global credibility. But to really make INR truly globally powerful, India must expand exports, deepen the capital markets, and allow gradual convertibility. So that's it for today, guys. So that's the scenario we discussed. What happens if we reduce the oil and gold imports to our currency as well as economy. Thanks, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.